How you start and end every day determines your level of consistency with your health and wellness goals. I promise you 9 times out of 10, what I'm doing in the evening today determines how good of a day I'm going to have tomorrow. And so since the success of your tomorrow is determined by what you're doing tonight, don't you want to make good choices? Let's get into it. It's time for my final class of my Hillman Talk course. It's been a long time coming, but I'm finishing, okay? Sustainable Wellness 101. You started, but it ain't stuck. How to make sustainable wellness routines that are realistic and approachable. We've talked about a lot, y'all. We've talked about meals. We've talked about movement. We've talked about meditation and mindfulness. And today we're talking about maintenance, how to keep these things going. I would like to approach maintenance today through the morning and the evening routines, the pivotal parts of your day, how you start and end them. Now, in a full transparency moment, mind you, I'm very much preaching to the choir here. Ask me what my morning and evening routines are. They written down on paper, but the execution, but that's why we're here today, to bridge the gaps. My first piece of advice to you would be write it down. My morning and evening routines are written down in my daily journal, and I also have them in the notes app on my phone. This is a new step that I'm taking in order to have some accountability so that it's more easily accessible than a journal. But writing it out with pen and paper is a very powerful way to get started. And it's also a way that you can kind of workshop and troubleshoot. Crossing that out, no, that's not realistic. Okay, if we play with like 7:30 versus 8:30, how does that feel? You know, get different iterations of it written down and then decide which ones work for you after some experimentation. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Step number 1 is assessing your goals. Our first takeaway is kind of like the precursor to creating a morning and evening routine. You got to know the goals. If you don't know your health and wellness goals with clarity and specificity, then you aren't going to be able to create a morning and evening routine that serves where you want to be. So step number 1 is get clear and specific on your goals so we know what we're creating a routine for. Example, if I know that my goal is to have a better night's rest, a deeper night's rest, then I'm going to be researching the things that need to be a part of my evening routine in order to maximize my sleep. All right, that was simple. Takeaway number 2, getting a little more complicated here. We're going to work backwards to create our morning and evening routines. Let's start out with the morning routine. If I know that I have to be at work or at my computer by 9 a.m., that's the end. That's the end point of my morning routine. And then I'm going to work backwards up into the early morning from that point. If we're talking about an evening routine, if I know I want to be in the bed by 11:30 p.m., then that's my end point, and I'm working backwards from 11:30 p.m. to create my routine. I also want you to work in 30-minute intervals. That makes you get more specific with what's going on in each part of your morning routine or your evening routine. For my morning routine, I want to be at my desk at 9 a.m. It takes me 30 minutes to get to work. I'm going to make sure I'm leaving the house at 8:15 so that I actually leave at 8:30 because we already know how it happens, how it be working out. Anyways, so 9 a.m. I'm at my desk. 8:15 I'm leaving the house to get to work. By 8:15 I want to have my car already packed, already ready to go with my lunch and everything else. So I'm bringing that out and packing it up by 8 a.m. By 8 a.m. I should be dressed, right? This is not my morning routine. I'm just kind of spitting this out as an example, but you see how I'm working backwards from where I need to end, and then I know where I need to start in the morning. And the same goes for the evening. If I know what time I want to be asleep by, and I know all the things that I need to do before bedtime, then I'm working backwards from that 11:30 p.m. bedtime goal. Takeaway number 3, put it up publicly. You need to have the routine clearly written up by 30-minute markers, up on your refrigerator, up on your bathroom mirror, up at the head of your bed, up above the doorknob so that you got to see it to even open the door. Like anywhere that you need it so that you're seeing it and that you're referencing it consistently. Takeaway number 4, commit and workshop it. Chances are you're not going to get the absolute perfect morning and evening routine sketched out on paper the first try. You might write down those 30-minute increments that it takes to get to bedtime, and then you try it out for a few days and you realize it's not sustainable, it's not working, you missed something, you forgot something that needs to go in your evening routine, you didn't calculate it right, it takes you longer to do that than you thought it took, you need an hour for that, whatever. So we're going to commit. We try it out for a certain amount of time, and then we go back to the drawing board if necessary. And when we do rewrite that schedule to maximize it, to be more realistic, then we're going to put up a new copy on our bathroom mirror, in the car, on the refrigerator, wherever it needs to go. And that is going to help us maximize our consistency. It's okay when a plan falls off. It's okay when a plan doesn't work. But what are you going to do in response to the fall off? What are you going to do? You're going to revamp and keep going. At this point, you can probably already guess what your homework assignment is going to be. Create your morning and evening routines and write them down on paper. I gave you the 4-step plan. Get clear on your goals, work backwards from the end of your morning or the end of your evening, and plan out up towards the beginning. Put it up in a public space so that you can see it continuously, and then commit and workshop as necessary. I promise you, y'all, if you follow this 4-step model, you will find consistency in your health and wellness goals.